Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be a pre-recording because I am going on vacation, and I wasn't sure which extra cross stitch I wanted to bring. And if you watch my previous video, this is being filmed the same day. I did not have good luck at all with my filming before. I obviously moved inside because it decided to get super windy, which is nice if you're just sitting out there, but not good for video. And then my neighbor started mowing his lawn and I had to run parts out to my husband. So it was broken up. Probably, I mean, I haven't had the chance to watch it yet because I haven't even did that. And I also didn't kit this one up. I just grabbed, for the moon, I just grabbed number 31 and decided that it is what it is and this is what I'm going to stitch. I'm going to turn it sideways here so that way you guys can see and I can see. And let's just say today has not worked out overly well for filming, and I know that if I don't film it now, it's not going to be edited and put up before I leave. And I really wanted to have the option to bring whichever cross stitch I decide up north with me, so I needed to do some of this for you guys so that way you could see it. This is the Moonlit Frog, I think it's what it's called, and it is an AI image. I didn't know that when I ordered it, but it is, and this is what it's supposed to look like. Let me just weasel that in there. I didn't look past this cute little guy here, but I have a double butt frog and snail frog. I will try to fix both, but those probably won't be on camera because double butt frog is very hard to tell where it's at on the canvas itself, and the snail frog I'm going to have to make the pattern for it. So basically I will have to I need to photocopy, because the paper that it came on is kind of waxy, but I'll have to photocopy the pattern, white out that area, and then put in my own colors that match what the base of the snail already has going on, so that way it looks like it's supposed to be part of it. So, and I'll have to fix like the plants and stuff around it. So it's just one of those things. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that on camera, but I can definitely show you what I decided for the pattern and how it's going to look. But yeah, I am struggling it out today because I have 2 videos that I have to film for my other channel and 2 for this one, so that way when I'm gone, you know, they can post up. And I have gotten 1 video filmed but haven't got it edited or anything done to it because it just hasn't worked out today. So, and like tomorrow I gotta clean out the chicken coop and get the animals set up. I do have somebody stopping in to take care of them while I'm gone, but they will need to be set up for at least 2 days, which isn't overly hard because I have like a big feeder and that kind of stuff, but it's just another added thing onto the list. And my daughter, she ended up getting a crayfish from school, so they did like a science experiment with crayfish where they observed them for like a week or two. And she, of course, asked if it could come home. Well, my in-laws have a turtle that, like a painted turtle. And I figured the crayfish could go in that tank. So I was like, sure, not a problem. You can bring this crayfish home. Well, come to find out that the painted turtle will eat the crayfish, even though the crayfish is like way bigger than the turtle. So I now happily have a crayfish, which I must say, the kids have done really well about feeding her every day and all that stuff. Well, I have to clean her tank out before we leave, and I was going to tackle that today. Well, the darn thing decided it was going to molt this morning, which, you know, I should have known that they molt, but I did not. Talk about having an animal you really know nothing about. Anyway, it decided to molt today, and I cannot touch this darn crayfish for 3 days. At least 3 days, minimum of 3. And so I'm sitting here like, how am I going to clean her tank? Because I can't grab her. So now, you know, I was doing reading and research and stuff on this darn thing, and so I can't pick her up for a minimum of 3 days. So I can't clean her tank. Well, we're leaving on Friday, and guess what? Day 3 is on Friday. So it's not even like I can clean it before I go. I have to clean it the day that we go. And my kids have their award ceremony and stuff on Friday, and we're leaving straight from there to go up north. So I'm going to wake up at the butt crack of dawn, not only to get my kids ready for school, but also to change the water of the crayfish, because she can't sit in this dirty water. And the only reason why the water is actually dirty is because the food that we feed her, the last, 3-4 days, she hasn't really been eating. So it's just kind of decomposed in there, which it's not anything super crazy, but mostly lettuce. And so it's just discolored the water. Like, it doesn't stink and it's not harming her in any way, but the water looks dirty. And I'm having my sister come to take care of it. So I have to at least have the tank clean for her. And, needless to say, I'm going to have to wake up and clean it before I take the kids to the award ceremony. So she chose just the perfect time to molt. Screwed up my plans for getting her tank cleaned today. I think she knew what was going to happen. And she just decided, you know what, today's the day. So, talk about stressing, trying to get, 4 videos done before I leave, plus getting all the animals set for the week. Well, I say set up for the week for my sister, and having to drop my dogs off to the kennel and everything else. The darn thing decided to molt and make it to where I could not clean her tank today. So, just an extra level of the stress that I did not need for this week. But, guess it's going to be late nights trying to get everything done for vacation, which I was really hoping, because I started early with like the packing and stuff, because the place that we go doesn't have like bedding or anything like that. So I have to pack all the bedding, I have to pack all the clothes, and I figured, getting an early start, because I started just packing up odds and end things that you could last week. And I don't think it helped me at all because, you know, plans just keep getting thrown for a loop here and there. So, I don't know. And then I was hoping that I'd be able to sit down in one solid chunk and film for these 2 videos and just have, you know, not, oops, sorry, I was off screen there, and not have like multiple videos that I'd have to string, or too many videos, because obviously I have to string them together anyway because the camera only films for like 23 minutes at a time. And I don't even know how long the other one is because I had to stop and start so many times. So this is basically, I'm doing this about 45 minutes before I have to go pick up my kids from school. So I was gonna like stop and make myself some lunch and everything else, and then having to run the stuff over to my husband, I'm like, well, if I don't film it now, I'm not going to get to film it today. And I need all my time tomorrow for the chicken coop and the duck pen and all of that stuff. So it's like, forfeit that and just get this video filmed. So we'll see how far I can get on this in, let's see, that'd be like 40-ish minutes, because it did take me time to like set my stuff up and get moving, because of course I had the setup for outside, which, you know, I guess I never really realized like how windy it is out at my house until I sit down to film, because it seems like we never really have that much wind. And, you know, again, I sit down to film and it's like a tornado rolling through my yard. But I really hate being like cooped up inside. Like, this is just, I'm looking outside going, I wish I was out there. And if I was, you know, if it was less windy or I was stitching without having to show you guys, it definitely would be outside. Oh, and this is forgot to mention, this is an 11 count, so I'm using 3 strands, and it is 168 by 168, so it's the same size as the bear, but obviously it's stamped. And, you know, it says what brand it is. I don't know, another weird brand, but it feels the exact same as the Bears brand, even though they're different. So I'm guessing it's the same factory, just sold by a different company. So, but it's definitely a thicker canvas, and this one is the tightest I've ever tried to like pin stitch into. Like, I felt like I was gonna break the needle, and it's completely possible that I just might end up breaking a needle, because I mean, they're pretty sharp, but they're still blunt. So I might have to go pick up some sharp needles for these canvases, the bear and this one, because of how tight it is. And I don't really want to break the fabric down, because it will do that while I'm stitching in hand, because I'll have to roll it, and like right now I'm bending it and that kind of stuff. So it'll break down naturally as I do it. It's not like putting a frame on and letting it sit in the frame. So we'll see how far we can get with this in this video, because who knows, I barely made, I on the bear, I think I didn't even make 100 stitches because everything just kept interrupting me. I had the Amazon guy show up. I had my husband call me like 3 times. I had my mother-in-law texting me. I was just not, it's not working. And then my sister ended up putting me in a group chat, which I really don't care for, just because, you know, then you're getting messages from everybody within the group instead of just the one message, or the one that like pertains to me, I guess. But she had messaged us in a group chat, so I was getting text message after text message. So I put it on silent. Well, then I ended up missing my husband's first call. And then, because I put it on silent, or not silent, vibrate, and did not hear it going off on the table because, you know, I was talking to the camera, and, yeah. So I had to end up calling him back and going and dropping him off some stands or something for a job, and I don't know, just one of those things where it's been nonstop today, but I'm refusing to, because I had slotted off today to do this, so the only thing that I was supposed to do today was run the laundry for going up north, and then cleaning out Rosie's tank, and then literally filming 4 videos, and it's looking like I'll probably get just these ones done, and I will end up having to film for tomorrow at some point, probably when my kids go to bed, because that one also has like the audio that I don't like doing a voiceover. I don't like having to do a voiceover. So, I don't know. It's just one of those things where I can either wait till late tonight to do it, which by that point, after I've, you know, done these 2, got them edited, and then packed what I can pack for up north, I'm not going to want to do that. But I might just have to push through it tonight and just do it and get it done. And then I also, after I'm done with this video, I need to kit this one up. And that's basically just, you know, hole punching through, writing the proper numbers on it, that kind of thing. So that way, because I don't know, this one might be easier to talk with family because, you know, the pattern's already on here, so I don't have to concentrate as hard. This will probably be the one that I take up along with the bee, and the bee will be something that I just do at nighttime, and then this will be something that I do while sitting with family, because like we do like a lot of cards and that kind of stuff, but I can always sit there and cross stitch and still be a part of the conversation. And this takes a lot less concentration, because even as I was just talking to you guys, I had screwed up on the other one. So, you know, just one of those things. Maybe I'll bring this one so that way I can actually have a conversation, because I won't have to look between the pattern and whatever. I can park a big chunk like I'm doing now and just go at it. Because when we go up, we have no cell phone service, there's no TV, no internet. So it's like you're cut off from the world, which is super nice. And we just sit outside, sit at the beach, that kind of thing. But I was looking at the weather, and it's looking like it might rain 3 or 4 days while we're up there. So it'll be nice just to be able to do something that I find relaxing. I'm going to pack my book that I've been trying to read. Maybe even bring an extra one just in case. Maybe I end up reading a whole bunch while I'm up there. And I can actually finish that book plus start a new one. I've been reading, I like mysteries, thrillers, killer books. I do like me a nice romance, not like what they would consider like the smut books or whatever, but like actual romance novels that are like set back in the day. I have a couple of them that are from like the 1800s, like they're set in the 1800s. I really like that. But I do like the horror books and the thrillers and the mysteries but I mean I could really read anything as long as it's written good. So like I had quit reading for a long time, and it was because I didn't really find like a whole lot of books that I cared to read. Well, then I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to pick it up. I want a fast-paced thriller that I can really get into. And I ended up finding on Spotify, because I get audiobook time on Spotify, I ended up finding a book by Frida McFadden. And it was called Never Lie. And after I listened to that book, I went and bought one of her books, and it read just as quick, just as easy, just as fast. But then, you know, the whole thing with like The Housemaid took off. I read that book. I did not like it. I didn't like it at all. I did go see the movie, and the movie was all right. And it followed the book pretty closely. But, like, overall, really did not care for the book. And I read it, and I read it quickly. But it was just not something that really tickled my fancy. I did not like it. And for any of you that did like it, don't hate on me. Just wasn't my finest cup of tea. But I thought it was honestly childishly written. And there was at one point I picked up on, I don't know, it was like the middle of the book that she had literally wrote, and I don't even know how an editor would miss this. She wrote that a specific guy didn't speak English 3 times on one page. I don't even know how you would do that. And she managed to do it. So I finished it because I'm the type of person that if I start a book, even if I absolutely hate the book, or I don't, like, let me put it this way. For those of you who like Stephen King, if you want a terrible book, Gerald's Game. And if you're more of a movie lover, go ahead and watch the movie that was made on Gerald's Game, because it follows the book almost to a T, and the movie was terrible. The book was terrible. The movie was terrible. I don't even know how they made that book into a movie. I can go on a rant about that one. But it was a smaller book, and it took me, I don't know, like 6 months to read it. And at that point, I had been devouring books like a lot. And I think that's really when I started hitting like a reading slump. I wasn't overly thrilled by it. But I kept pushing through it. And that book was, honest to God, one of the worst books I've ever read. And I've read some real crappy books. So, I would put The Housemaid not on that level of it took me forever to read, but on the level of It was, I don't know, too simple, and just the language that was used in it was not very good. It just sounded like you were having a conversation with a person and not reading a book. If that's the best way to describe it. And just the fact that it was repeated 3 times on one page that a specific person didn't speak English. Just, that's how the whole book was. But I did like Never Lie. I did like The Boyfriend. One by One is good. Her newest one, or I guess she had another one come out that I haven't read, but the newerest one, which was The Intruder. I didn't mind that one, but after reading so many of her books, I've kind of figured out if she's trying to push you in one direction, it's going to do a 180. And so I pretty much guessed a lot. I mean, I've guessed a lot of her books. I guessed The Teacher. I've guessed The Intruder. I mean, I've basically read and or listened to all of her books. And it's like the first couple of books I was like, wow, this is great. And so I went out and I bought more. I listened to more. And then I started figuring it out. And it made it a very boring read on top of everything else. So it was like, I wish, because her twists are like the same. It's like a wash, rinse, repeat. She was like, oh, this one worked, so I'm just going to dress it up and call it something else. And yeah, I think I read too many of her books. But then there's other authors like Julie Garwood. She's the romance book writer that I like to read. Everything's set back in the day, but they're all interconnected, but you don't have to read one before you read another. You just read it and go, oh my gosh, I know that person. You know? And mind you, when you're reading a romance, you already know what's going to happen. So that's something that I would expect of their books, that I can guess the ending, because it's always going to be happy, because that's what they're for. They're always going to fall in love. But if I want like predictability, that's where I kind of go, is to Julie Garwood. But when you can start predicting like mysteries and thrillers and that kind of thing, you're not doing your twists very good. Like, I should be jaw on the floor, like, oh my gosh, I never seen that coming. And for me, it's just not like that with her books. So if I wanted predictability, I'd pick up a romance. That's just where I stand on that. But let me know what you think. Like, what's your favorite genre of book? Because I'm always looking for like recommendations and stuff. I will give anything a chance. My favorite book of all time is Master of the Game by Sidney Sheldon. I will always, always, always recommend that book. I don't care what your genre of book is. That is a good book. It's very slow to start, but once it gets going, like, even my husband, he does not like reading at all. Will not do it. I was like, I have to read you this book. I physically read this book. Physically read it, and the first like 5 chapters, he's like, oh my gosh, this is a terrible book. Why do you even like it? Because that was like my second time reading through it. And I was like, no, give it a chance. Because I was like, it gets good. Like, it does. And by like chapter, I think it was like chapter 5, he was like, oh, are you going to read me that book? Like, he wouldn't read it himself, but he wanted me to read it to him. And after we had finished the book, he was like, that was honestly a very good book. I was like, yeah, you know, it's one of those things where, like, sometimes you have to push through the first couple chapters because it was setting up so much stuff. But yeah, so, I mean, if you're looking for a book rec, Master of the Game. Good book. And then I've read recently, like, I don't know. I've read The Binding Chronicles, which was like a vampire romance. Because, yes, sometimes, you know, you got to feed your 16-year-old soul. And that one got super repetitive for me. Because each book had, like, no joke. I swear they picked a theme and just was like, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to run with it. And it's going to be repeated through the entire book, which each book was like 300 and some odd pages. And it was a lot to soak in. So, I don't know. It's just one of those things that the first book was good, the second book was okay, and the third book I'm like, okay, when's it over? But again, I have to know how it ends, so I kept reading, I kept going. So if you got any book recs, let me know. And I just gave you mine, so. Alright, I think, because I am pretty darn close to having to go pick up my children here. Looking at the clock. I don't think I got to film as much as I wanted to with this, but that is fine. We did one whole string for this one, for this pattern. Come on. So that is the last stitch that I will do with this string because it's getting too short. I really don't feel like fighting with it. Alright, and shove it through the back here. I don't have a needle minder on here, but zoom out. Zoom. So that's a little area that we did. So I started it with you guys, and this will probably be the one that I take up on vacation. I might take the time to sort out double butt and frog snail while I'm up there. Oh, like look at that little frog snail. He's so not okay. But yeah. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you later. Bye.